But LinkedIn as a resource, the main difference is LinkedIn has good information in there, but it's all self-reported, and arguably most of it is terribly out of date. The function that LinkedIn offers, the ability to help people leverage relationships to expand their network and create new ones, that's the parallel to Leadership Connect.
Welcome to Business Ninjas, brought to you by WriteForMe, where you'll hear from business leaders who are out there growing their business and slaying it every day. Learn from the masters. Let's get started.
Welcome to another episode of Business Ninjas. I'm here with Steve Kalan, who's the Senior Director of Government Relations at Leadership Connect. Hey, Steve, how's it going?
Andy, it's going very well. Nice to see you again.
Nice to see you. Great to have you here. Tell me a little bit about what you do at Leadership Connect and who Leadership Connect is.
Sure. I came to the company about 2.5 years ago when we realized that in addition to handling inbound leads from former users of our product, we're a software as a service product, the company wanted to make a concerted effort into the private sector and asked me to stand up a vertical market for us where I focus on corporate and government affairs teams, Fortune 1000 and a couple other large type companies. And I also speak with lobbying firms. And what I'm presenting to them is the value and the benefits of our product, Leadership Connect, which in short is a relational database that ties together leaders across the public and private sector all around public policy issues. And we present what our customers call people intelligence and even relationship intelligence. We present this in a very intuitive online format to government relations professionals.
Wonderful. And so it sounds a little bit in the neighborhood of LinkedIn. How is it different from LinkedIn?
That's a great question. We get that a lot. LinkedIn is a customer of ours, as is Microsoft, Google, and large tech companies with thousands of customers. And about a fourth, actually, of our customers are companies within the government, because it's a unique situation that our product are also our customers. But LinkedIn as a resource, the main difference is LinkedIn has good information in there, but it's all self-reported, and arguably most of it is terribly out of date. The function that LinkedIn offers, the ability to help people leverage relationships to expand their network and create new ones, that's the parallel to Leadership Connect. And as a matter of fact, our elevator pitch would be, we help companies increase their number of meaningful relationships in support of their public policy. LinkedIn does that as well.
I see. And so when somebody becomes a customer of yours, tell me a little bit about their experience. What's the onboarding process like, and how do they start getting value from your platform?
Mm-hmm. Our platform actually, the company evolved into this online platform just within the last 5 years. And we used to print directories called the yellow books, which a lot of people in the marketplace know from us. But the way the product is set up, it's designed for government employees who change jobs every couple of years, meaning it's user-friendly, very intuitive, simple, easy to use. So despite that, we still do onboard. We have our customer success team, and onboarding for us is having literally a one-on-one meetings, sometimes 2 and 3 people in meetings, and we will help new users learn how to personalize their user interface, because there's some additional features around the product that makes that exercise important.
I see. And so they create their own profile, and then they start to connect with others within their network. Once they start doing that, tell me a little bit about the relationships that happen, or the conversation, or what the user experience is like at that point.
Mm-hmm. Well, let me clarify. They don't necessarily create their own profile. We help them customize the user interface so that they can put specific stakeholder groups right at their fingertips that are important to them. So our service is really about making not only people information and career history bios as contact information in there, but there are layers and layers of institutional knowledge around many issues of public policy, whether it's bills in motion and committee assignments. So we put this type of information at people's fingertips, both online and in mobile. And the user experience then is one where literally within seconds, even without knowing the person's name or the proper noun of an office, they might find the right person to speak to, either on behalf of their own company's public policy objectives or on behalf of a client, by some of the search and shortcuts that we have in the product. So net is it's as much as a productivity tool to keep the momentum going, save time, as it is the most accurate resource on public policy professionals.
I see. That makes a lot of sense. It's good clarification. And I understand that how that can be an accelerator because, if you're looking to connect with a policy maker or a lobbyist or somebody who is influential in your quest, being able to accelerate that process by using your platform is very useful in that moment.
Yeah, it's funny you say that. I've used that term to describe as I'm trying to explain to people before they see the product. I've told them that our customers often call it a productivity accelerator.
Yeah, makes sense. And are you focused in any other verticals outside of government affairs? Are you doing anything in the public sector or private sector?
Leadership Connect is. We've got our company's about 100 strong, and about 2/3 of the people are data scientists. We build a product ourselves, which makes us very different from other people in the marketplace. So about 1/3 of the company are our front office team. I forget the question you asked me.
Yeah. So just are you working in other sectors of the market?
Yes. Yes. Within the front office team, I've got a team, I've got 3 other people that join me, and we talk specifically in the private sector to companies, to their government affairs team, and to lobbying firms. Outside of my group, we also have another group that focuses on nonprofits and associations and their needs for this type of people intelligence. We have another team that focuses on academia and entertainment. Moving away from the private, still in the private sector, we have a separate team, and that's our largest and fastest growing team. We focus on the needs in the procurement side of public policy, whether it's professional services firms or it's aerospace and defense firms. We have a large and fast growing group that works with people in the private sector to sell to the government. And our product has been updated to include federal awards and opportunities all maxed to the buyers within the government. So that covers the private sector. Within the public sector, as examples, 20 offices at the FAA, 26 different customers within DOD. Again, literally thousands of offices across the government at the federal and state and local level. They use our product as well. That probably makes up the majority of our revenue are for people in the government.
I see. Really interesting and such a great service. As part of the service, are you including the ability for people to put RFPs across your platform so that if somebody's looking for a solution provider, that they could put that out, or is it simply somebody who is looking for somebody to connect with at a particular department?
Andy, that's a very good question, and you're close. You're close to knowing exactly how to do this. We actually do not work with outside parties to allow them to put RFPs through our channel, and that would be data we'd need to manage. However, with data feeds from SAM.gov and a couple of other sources, we present to our customers who buy this component of our product, we present to them all of the active federal grants, opportunities, and a historical record of the awards that have been won. So opportunities do exist within our product for people to peruse and decide if they want to pursue them, but it's controlled by us as, again, all of the federal opportunities that are in the marketplace. As you might expect, there's thousands and thousands of changes daily to the information, so it gets updated daily, and alerts go out to people who are following RFIs and RFPs from the government.
Makes a lot of sense. Tell me a little bit about how you're growing in the company.
Well, I mentioned a bit in the beginning, up until a couple of years ago, we were busy answering inbound inquiries, and we now have a concerted effort to reach out, build brand in the marketplace. My role was new. We've added a large amount of revenue to the product, or to the company rather, since I've been on board. We've probably added about 85 customers. That's me and a couple other people. But our biggest growth at this point looks like it will come still in the private sector, but it'll be with the federal contracting team. And I say that because we have patent pending on an aspect of our product that literally maps every award and opportunity right to the specific funding office in the government that's responsible year in, year out for managing these programs. We've seen that we have a real advantage in the marketplace that rather than just use another service or a free service to find who are contracting personnel, we point revenue capture teams towards the funding offices that have career appointments in there and career professionals in the government who year in, year out scope out these projects, create new ones. So we're helping the reason this is big for growth for us, we're helping our customers learn who to speak to develop the long-term relationships so they can help scope new projects from the government. Again, the way the government, the needs that they have across aerospace and defense, professional services, IT services is huge for us. And we're really just getting started with that part of our business. That's probably where we'll see the biggest growth.
Yeah, when you say the private sector is looking to connect with government departments, it really sounds so interesting. And I can see a lot of opportunity for venture capital companies to want to be a use case to say, hey, we've got this private company that has some AI technology, for example, that can be applied in a government solution. Is that a kind of use case? Like, give me an idea of how a private company would start to use your platform and get value from it.
Sure. There are several PE companies that are customers of ours, and the product is the symbol. They literally can, within a search bar, once they open up the product, just type, we're acronym friendly. They can type in AI and hit return. And what will come back to them will be search results across 5 different objects. People associated with AI throughout the public and private sector. Organizations associated with AI. We also have awards, opportunities, and legislation in motion, bills in motion. So very quickly, someone can click on awards and see who's been receiving money from the government for their AI intellectual property, their AI services, their AI research. It becomes a powerful competitive intelligence tool. But yes, a PE firm on behalf of its clients, and lobbying firms do this on behalf of their clients sometimes, their tech clients, they will guide them towards the people in the federal government. You would imagine that not just in DoD, but across many of the large agencies, there is a need for support around AI and how it can continue to automate some of the federal systems. So quickly people can find awards and opportunities. For the opportunities around AI, the product is set up now to allow people to create a short list and just hit the little easy button that will say, alert me on changes. So as they're trying to pursue new work, anytime a federal opportunity has a change in it, they'll get an email and they'll be alerted as the specs change or as the request for information changes from that specific funding office or the contracting personnel.
Hugely useful. And I can see how that's a growth driver for your customers. Tell me a little bit about how you, talk to me about the business side of this. How do you generate revenue?
So we have subscription we're a subscription business. We have some people and it's a 1-year subscriptions. Typically, that's what we do. The fantastic thing about the company is that we are so strong on the data science team at Leadership Connect that we continue to make enhancements. What that allows us to do is not only recoup our investment with gradual increases in the price, but it puts us in a very rare club where we are in excess of 93 or 94% renewal with our customer base. So not only do we continue to acquire new customers, again, I mentioned I'm now looking for business on the outside, as are about 10 of my colleagues. But as a SaaS product that continues to improve, we're able to gain revenue through annual increases. But the real driver of a company like ours is the level of service and the attention to detail within the product, which leads to a 90+% renewal rate.
Love that. That's so strong. And give me an example of a use case where you're providing that kind of support. Talk to me about what that looks like. So if I'm a customer, how would your team help me in customer support or an engagement like that?
Sure. Let's say that you're one of the leaders at a lobbying firm and you spent your time on the Hill, you work in some committees, you were in a couple of offices. Now you've ascended to a nice leadership position, and one of your roles at a lobbying firm is business development. And you're scratching your head thinking, how do I leverage my time when they get all in the Department of Transportation Office of Legislative Affairs? What do I do? Our product has historical information in there. We're able to do something as simple as this. So here's a use case, and here's how we interact with and support our clients. We literally will sit down with people and we do this through the screen, or in person is always better because people get to tell nice stories. But we can run a query within about 10 or 15 seconds that defines all of the people that used to work on the same committee or in the same office at the same time as you, as a former government employee, and then we will show you where those people are now. We will just ask the query, show me people who are no longer in that, employed by that committee or in that role, and then you'll see here's where people are. And typically what the business leaders, they show me the people in the private sector who now have a title of government relations. So what we do is, for the people that are scratching their head thinking, how can I possibly remember all the people I work with and I didn't keep up with them? Well, we do that for them now. We say, here's the people you used to work with, here's where we are now. And by the way, hit the little easy button, and each time they change to take a different job, you can reach out to them because this is now your group of people.
Love
That's a typical use case.
It's so compelling. It's so compelling. And I love how easy that is to use, and a great way for all of the alerts to spark a new connection even. And if somebody is changing jobs, or if there's a new opportunity that's relevant to you based on the query that you've done before, how it prompts you to seek those opportunities. Let's switch gears a little bit. And I know there's a learn section on your website. As a content marketing company, we're always interested in how people are leading with their own content to educate your customers. Talk to me a little bit about the value that content adds to your whole process and how you're engaging with your customers.
Mm-hmm. So we realize that our customers are less interested in us explaining features to them of the product, and more interested in learning from us how other people use the product and why. So part of the Learning Center is to explain some best practices that we see, catalog, and understand from the marketplace. The product is set up to be super easy to use, but people quickly realize there's so much information in here. They think there's probably things that I can do here that I don't even know. So our new customers are drawn to that. And again, we work through examples based on what we know from the marketplace on how people use the product. They're working, through their third person voice of users is what's important. It's perhaps a shortcut or a step towards developing a user group. We have a community of loyal users, and again, they do like to learn from each other. So the Learning Center is new to us, and it's supported also by live online chat and again, a robust client success model.
I love the whole business. It's really exciting, and congrats on all the success that you've had. I guess my last question is, if you were to forecast out a year from now, what would you like to be celebrating?
Thank you. Well, I'd like to be celebrating my best year yet so far in Leadership Connect. I started here, worked my way into a nice position a little bit over 2 years ago. I had a lot of fun in 2021. Learned a lot more about government relations, government affairs, and lobbying firms. Had a strong year. I was allowed to pull some people into my team to help us get some more meetings. I've got a nice little thing going here. The company's very smart. The empowerment of high producing people and leaders within the company from senior management enables all of us to really let something run all the way out. If we find something that's working, we're left alone to continue to make it work. So it's a great working environment. So a year from now, I don't think the culture is going to change. So there's no reason for me not to think I'm going to be celebrating another successful year, and one that's resulted in even more revenue than each of the past two.
That's really exciting, Steve. Thank you so much. Steve Kalan from Leadership Connect. You can find them at leadershipconnect.io. Thanks so much, Steve. Appreciate it.
Thanks a lot, Andy. Bye now.